Organic, true urban breakbeat culture.
It's a Deep Blue, and I'm here to talk about the Offshore Organic Beats release. So yeah, I first met Brett. He worked in a record shop in New York called Breakbeat Science, which was owned by a guy called DB, who we had a relationship with for when I was doing the Too Bad My stuff and Moving Shadow, and he used to put out our stuff. He was like the first, I think, international licensee for stuff in Moving Shadow. Anyway, this guy DB had a record shop called Breakbeat Science. That's where Brett used to work. And I remember, I think the first time I met him was I went in there, dropped a CD off for DB, and it was when I'd just done a track called Immersion that came out on 31 Records. And then yeah, he contacted me after that and said, listen, you handed me a CD in the store the other day, but I didn't get a chance. I was serving a customer. I didn't get a chance to say hello to you. You know, I'm your #1 fan. I'm starting a label. Can you do me a track for it? I was like, sure, yeah, why not? So yeah, it went from there. It all starts with pretty much a series of accidents. You know, there's no, you know, a lot of drum and bass is very formulaic. People have their sounds, their kind of mastering chain, their arrangements pretty much all mapped out before they start to write a track. Where I don't work like that. I just start with a blank canvas, or in case of a remix, you know, some samples. You get them going, and then you see, you know, you just try some things, try running some stuff through some effects, through some freaky effects, and see if something jumps out. And then when it does, you know, grab a little bit and expand on that. And it's all about whether within the first, you know, half a day, I guess, whether you find something that you can really go, yeah, that's the kind of backbone of this. And yeah, that's kind of the way I work. Never kind of know how much of the original you're gonna end up using. You do some remixes where you use almost all of the original parts, and you do others where actually you think, well, you know, sometimes you might feel obliged to put them all in out of respect for the original artist, and then other times you think, okay, well, I could put this in because I feel like I should, but it doesn't add anything to the track. In fact, it's a bit awkward in the track, so you have to make a judgment, and actually you have to in the end say that I go with what works the best. So I use what I can that sounds good, and the stuff that doesn't fit has to kind of get left behind. Current drum and bass, on my knowledge of it, is pretty minimal. I don't listen to it really, and it's not because I was going to say it's not because I don't like it. There's a lot of it that I don't like. A lot of it just is not for me at all. You know, people always expect me to listen to it or like it, you know, in the same way that my dad wanted me to listen to the Stones when I was listening to rave music. He was saying, no, that's crap, you should listen to, you know, Hendrix and the Stones, you know, Led Zeppelin, that's proper music. And I was like, you know, shut up you wanker, I'm not interested in that. But you know, you discover it for yourself later down the line, and you go, actually, my old man was talking some sense, and there is some pretty good music. But you've got to kind of it's got to be the right time, you know, for you to find the music, or for that music to kind of find you. And drum and bass having found a formula, so to speak, it's just, you know, become kind of same-ish and uninteresting as far as I'm concerned. A lot of it, you know, even to the point where I know a lot of the big kind of commercial people all use the same guide to mix their tunes down or master their tunes to the point where, you know, where they sound great on radio and they sound great in the clubs, but they all sound the same sonically, which again is just of no interest to me. It misses the essence of going out and hearing, you know, a bunch of drum and bass tunes mixed down in bedrooms by amateurs, and each one was sonically sound really different and really kind of distinct. You know, the fact that the bass was far too loud, or the snares were far too cutting, or the hi-hats were silly, or whatever it was, you know, that a professional would never have let get through the net. The fact that you would get tracks like that, you know, that would kind of make for an interesting mix of tracks if you would listen to a lot of drum and bass. So, and I don't find that now, but then I guess I'm not too qualified to comment because I don't listen to a lot of it. If you go way back to the days of kind of speed and stuff like that, it was funny because down there you would have everyone everywhere. You know, you'd have a guy called Gerald, you'd have Goldie, you'd have Photech, you'd have 4Hero, you'd have Wax Doctor and Alex Reese, you'd have you know, everyone, you know, and all the other DJs would come down, like Frost and Brian G and all the MCs, and just absolutely everyone would be down there. And it's funny how kind of half the people, and everyone's music was all on a level there, and it's funny how half the people, you know, are now making a whole ton of money, and half the people are, you know, driving forklift trucks and flipping burgers and that kind of stuff now, you know, and it would just be fascinating to know what half of those people are doing, and be interesting to hear them make some music.
Are you sick of hearing a helicopter tune?
No, I'm not. I'm not sick of hearing it, actually. I got sick of hearing it, I guess, back then, but I don't know, it's so much kind of goodwill towards that tune. People really, really love it. Well, lots of people really, really love it, and that's kind of quite infectious. So when it does get played, and people do play it to embarrass me frequently, but actually just watching the reaction that it gets, you know, nearly 20 years on, yeah, I like it again. True urban breakbeat culture, organic.